Okay, so the last thing that happened in the last video was that I recorded this guy's phone number, but apparently one thing that changed between Gold, Silver, Crystal, and Hard Gold, Soul Silver is the capacity of the phone. You can now call anyone you want at any time with the phone. Of course, increased capacity only means, according to some people, more. You know what? My Rattata beat this Caterpie today. It was incredible! More calls like that, yeah, as if we needed any. But they still give out rematches that way, which I guess is okay. But even though that's an upgrade compared to Gold, Silver, Crystal, it works more like Emerald, if this comparison can work. But it's still a serious downgrade compared to the Versus Seeker, and I hope every Pokemon game from now on uses the Versus Seeker, because it's just the formula that works best. But there is a slight compensation in that you get to trigger the Gym Leader rematches now. Well, there are a few restrictions. You can only trigger it once a week and at a very specific time of the week. I haven't learned anything by heart, but the thing is that it's a bit complicated actually. If you haven't read about it already, and I think most of you did, well, how it works is that at some time during the week, like Saturday mornings or something, the gym leaders will be out of their gym, and you gotta go find them at the place where they are, and they'll give you their phone number. And after that, you call them back, not at that time of the week, at another time, to set a rematch, and the rematch happens in the Fighting Dojo in Saffron City, and that's basically how it works. So you can get one rematch with every gym leader per week, and that is according to Cerebi Excellent Experience. He said he fought all 16 in a row, and his Celebi went from level 83 to level 91, which is a lot at that kind of levels. But still, that's not quite enough to compensate for the downgrade from the Versus Seeker to the phone system. And there are a few other things that I'm gonna miss from Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum, like the Underground. I actually really love that minigame, but thankfully, you know, the Elemental Stones, Heart Scales, stuff like that that you could dig up in the Underground, they're actually available in as prizes for the Pokéthlon, which means that you can now get unlimited amounts of evolutionary stones without having to rely on phone calls. You can just buy the elemental stones whenever you wish, but the fact that the Pokemon evolutions that require stones like the Dusk Stone and the Dawn Stone and everything makes me think that those particular stones aren't available until you get the National Dex. No, the 5 Pokemon that weren't in the Johto Dex before, but that are in now, as many people have guessed, it is indeed Ambipom, Tangrowth, Licky, Yanmega, and Mamoswine. And another thing I'm gonna miss is the Poké Radar, so no more easy. Oh, there's a berry tree here. I was just taking a wild guess, but there was actually something here. And it's a Persimberry. Very good. So, well, it's not one of the more useful ones because a switch is the best cure for confusion, but you get the idea. So, yeah, no more Poké Radar. So now if you want to increase your chances of getting a shiny, now you gotta use the Masuda method. If you haven't heard of this method, it's basically that you breed 2 Pokemon from different regions of the world. And I'm not talking about Kanto and Sinnoh. I'm talking about something like Japan and North America, for example. So, if you breed a Japanese Pokemon with a North American Pokemon, your chances of getting a shiny are multiplied by 4. That is what I've heard, anyway. And this here is a natural maze near the Lake of Rage. There are several visible items, and there are several invisible ones, too. I'm praying that I've got enough room in my bag for everything. And yes, but otherwise, Hard Gold and Soul Silver are shaping up to be fantastic. Because, well, they did mimic Platinum in a lot of ways. For example, you remember that double battle with Faulkner and Flint in Platinum? Well, you get one against Lance and Claire in Hard Gold and Soul Silver. You know, kind of neat little things like that. And they also spell Elixir right in Hard Gold and Soul Silver as well. Well, I'm hoping so, but they did so for Generation 3 and 4 games already, so this should be no problem now. And there is also the fact that, well, apparently they've expanded Mount Silver a lot. There's now a snowy mountain top where you fight Red, and it's hailing during the fight with Red, and Red has increased his team's level by 7. I still don't know if that Pikachu has a light ball or not this time around, because if it doesn't have one, then it's still cannon fodder even at level 88. And Red also swapped out his Espeon for a Lapras, presumably because it would be bad if all of his team got hit by the hail, but yeah, you get the idea. Why not use Walrein instead? Because it has Super Fang now. That's the kind of thing I would have expected to see. But I'm nitpicking now. And, you know, one of the things that really impressed me about Diamond, Pearl, and Platinum is that it, in terms of non-starters and legendaries, it had everything. 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 Well, Diamond and Pearl missed Tangela, Tangrowth, and Tropius, but they brought them back as sort of Platinum exclusives. I don't know if that was their intention from the beginning or they simply forgot about them or what, but they're back in Platinum, so it still counts as everything. Whereas, well, Hard Gold and Soul Silver hasn't been fully documented as far as the Pokemon that aren't in the Johto Dex goes. But there still have been several methods for finding them that have been unveiled, such as headbutting trees, the Safari Zone, which I will come back to in a minute, and there is also something very, very cool. Well, it's sort of a replacement to the Poke Radar, so to speak. A lousy replacement, but a replacement nonetheless. It's that, you know, the Pokemon music channel on the radio? Well, on certain days it's going to play the music from either Route 101 or Route 201. When it plays Route 101, and it's on Wednesdays, I think, there are certain Hoenn Pokemon that can be found in certain places, such as, well, I do remember that, no, that's a Swarm Pokemon. Well, I don't have any examples for Hoenn, and when Route 201 plays on that channel on, I think it was Thursdays, well, you can find Sinnoh Pokemon, and the odd thing is that, well, not all Sinnoh Pokemon, just a few of them, but the odd thing is that Meditite counts as a Sinnoh Pokemon, believe it or not. Well, maybe it has to do with the fact that it's much more common in Sinnoh than it is in Hoenn. In fact, well, Ponyta's been around since the very beginning, but it's a lot more common in Sinnoh than it is in any other region. So, well, I don't know if it would have counted as a Sinnoh Pokemon had it not been right there from the start and present in the Johto Dex. It would have been fun to see, honestly, Ponyta being labeled as a Sinnoh Pokemon. So, well, there are a few other ways where you can get a Hoenn and Sinnoh Pokemon, but one of them is, oh, we got a phone call from Picnicker Gina, who wants a rematch on Route 34, and right now I'm recording, and I'm going to continue recording for at least another video. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to go do that rematch right now, see how her roster has evolved since the last time I fought her all these videos ago. But for now, I'm going to once again stop this right here, save the video, and then start a new one, which will begin with that rematch.